Like how far? Now I'm thinking about how far I live from the Vegas airport.
How far do you live?
It takes me like 20 minutes to get there, 15 minutes. Is that
you're
too close?
Okay. Probably okay. Well, I think we're all fucked.
Yeah.
We're all fucked. We're all breathing
We're all
in
living in
dust.
under the same flat Earth.
Exactly, under the same flat Earth. But that's one of the problems with the whole chemtrail theory. Like, don't they live down here too? They're spraying the skies. Like, what are they trying to do? And the idea is it's either weather modification or that they're trying to change our behavior. That some people think it's their change.
I've heard of like it's something to do with crops too, or something. They're trying to, I don't know.
Growing crops in Vegas?
I don't think they grow shit in Vegas. Tumbleweeds.
They probably
about
grow pot
it.
now. Probably a lot of pot growing in Vegas.
There probably is.
It used to be so illegal. Like, if you went to Vegas, you had to be like really careful about having weed. But now when you drive around, they have these giant weed doctor billboards
I know.
and shit.
It's really weird. It's like the call 1-800-HOT-BABE on one side and then Dr. Weed on the other side.
That's a weird place to live, isn't it?
It is, but it's. I feel like Vegas is kind of what you make it. It's whatever you make it. Like, if you want to go down to the Strip and be crazy and be wild, hang out with all the hooligans over there for the weekend, you can. But if not, like, just live in your little house and go hike the Red Rocks and go down to the lake. It's pretty barren, pretty ugly lake, honestly. I came from Washington State, so I'm used to a lot of greenery.
Yeah.
It's beautiful there, and we've got the San Juan Islands, and you can go whale watching, which is gorgeous. We have a national rainforest up there, too. It's beautiful. But
yeah, I'm a big fan of Washington State, but the rain can fuck with your head, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. I lived there for. I mean, I was 18 before I moved to the eastern side, which is very different. Actually, a lot of people don't know this. So the mountain range divides the state in half, and on the eastern side of Washington, it's super dry. It's like deserty. Like, there's actually tumbleweeds and sand dunes and all that. It's completely different on the other side of Washington. When moisture comes in from the ocean, hits the mountains, rolls back over, rains like double duty on the west side, and then the east side of Washington is really dry.
And you're from Spokane, right?
No, I'm from Tacoma.
Tacoma.
To Compton.
To Compton? Is that what people call it? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Is it ghetto?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty ghetto. But I lived on that. It's really big, actually. It's I think, if I'm not mistaken, I should probably know these things, but I don't pay attention to a lot of things, as you'll probably find out. I don't know a lot of statistics and stuff. I'm kind of like one of those fly by the seat of my pants, like, whatever's going on, it's cool. But I think it's one of the biggest, like, circumference, like, the widest cities. Like, not most populated, but, like, most area in Washington. Anyway, so I live on the very outskirts, like, near Puyallup. So I grew up on, like, 5 acres, and, like, I had some land. I wasn't, like, in the heart of it, but it's a pretty cool place.
So going from there to living in Vegas, but I guess because you're a professional fighter, your days are probably so filled with training and recovery and eating. Like, how much time do you actually have to even be in the city that you're in?
Like, none when I'm in camp.
Yeah.
Really not much. Maybe on the weekends sometimes. That's what's nice about it too, is you can go down there and just enjoy a comedy show. I mean, you come through often, like, a lot of acts come through, Kevin Hart comes through, a lot of musicians, a lot of concerts. So it's nice because everyone comes to you, essentially. You don't have to go travel to see anyone. So if you want to just set the cup down for a minute and, like, take a break from the train, you want to go ride the big Ferris wheel that they have there. The Link.
Right.
Yeah. You want to go ride that or do whatever, you know. It's nice because there's so much going on.
As long as you stay outside of it.
Right.
Like, you like in, like, Henderson or something like that?
I live in Mountain's Edge. So, yeah, for the most part, I don't ever even see the Strip unless I'm driving by it, like to go visit the UFC office or something like that.
Well, it's a good place to live as a professional fighter, right? Because there's a lot of gyms there. There's a lot of great training there. There's across the board. Strength and conditioning, 100%. Muay Thai, boxing.
Well, and it's the home of the UFC, so it's nice there, too, because there's a lot of extracurricular things that I get to take part of because I'm local. You know, I get to do a lot more charity things and with the Boys and Girls Club and, you know, just going and, you know, being a part of the UFC, I guess. I get to do more things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, your life is very different right now than it was a year ago.
It is.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Like, a year ago, you were talking about, like, not doing this anymore. You were like, I got to figure out what I'm doing.
And now, you're the
fucking world champ.
I know. Here I am. Talk about a freaking 180. Yeah, my career in life, it couldn't have been different a year ago than it is now, you know.
How strange is that? How that can just, like
change
that.
In an instant. You just never know.
What does that feel like? It's like when you wake up in the mornings, you have to go, okay.
I wake
There's
up
the belt.
in the morning
Guess
feeling
that's real.
like P. Diddy. No, for real. I'm happy. It's enlightening. It's fun. It's great to be the champ. I love it, honestly. It's a completely different feeling. And yeah, a year ago I was so frustrated because, when I lost to Ronda the last time, I knew I had a long road, to work my way back up. But I thought I had done that. And when I beat Jessica Ai, it was announced like, this is going to be the number one contender eliminator fight. And then afterwards, they're like, yes, it is. You're going to fight Ronda. Then I felt like the carpet was kind of just pulled out from under my feet because they were like, just kidding. Holly's fighting. And they announced it without telling me. So that's why I was so upset. Because I was like, I don't take this shit lightly,
Yeah.
Like I was training my ass off already. I had already reached out to a girl in France. I can't say her name right. I think it's like Javri, I don't know, some French name, but she beat Ronda in judo. So I'd already like been making plans with her to train with her and fly her over here, and she was changing things. Then I was like, I feel like such an ass. Like I feel like an idiot. Like I look like an idiot because here the announcement was made and I didn't even know. So I was kind of upset about that. But we talked about it. We smoothed things over, and I took it personally at the time. But I don't think it was meant personally. It was a business decision, and I understand that at the end of the day. That's what it was. And it all worked out. So
Well, the UFC is in a weird position because they're both a promoter and sort of a sanctioning body.
Yep.
And that's really rare. As a matter of fact, I can't think of any other sport where that exists.
Yeah.
They have just this ability to decide. Like they'll just decide like this person gets a shot. Like the whole Conor McGregor situation is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, if he had beaten Nate Diaz, or if he had beaten Dos Anjos, like if Dos Anjos didn't get injured and he beat Dos Anjos, you fucking know for sure they were gonna have him fight Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
Like for sure. And they were just gonna like figure out a way to do something with a 145-pound title. And why wouldn't they do it if they were business people? Because that's where the money is. I mean, it would have been if he had beat Dos Anjos and then went on and fought Robbie Lawler, Jesus Christ, we were talking like a $5 million pay-per-view buy event. They'd have to do it.
It would be insane.
But if that was like a sanctioning body, like you've seen it before in like boxing, like someone won't take a mandatory challenger and they get stripped, even when they just won the title. It happens all the time. Like where a fighter would just win the title and then they have this mandatory challenger who nobody knows. Well, fuck that fight. I'm going to go fight Canelo Alvarez. I'm going to fight this guy or that guy. And then they get stripped. Like, because there's like 5 different sanctioning bodies. Like boxing is way more of a mess. So there's like pros and cons to doing it the way the UFC does it. But from a point of view of someone like you, it's probably much more frustrating.
Well, you just never know what to expect. You get curveballs all the time in this. You don't know what to expect. Like a lot of people were so pissed off at me for the Holly Holm not having the rematch right away. But it's like it's not my choice.
Yeah. Why were they pissed off at you?
I don't, because they think that I like turned it down, or I should have went in there like guns a-blazing for Holly and like put myself out on my shield. Like, no, we have to have the Holly rematch. You guys don't understand. But they called me up and like, Amanda, July 9th. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. How do you say no to UFC 200? How the fuck do you say no?
No, you don't.
You can't say no. If that's what they come up with, you're like, I'm in.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, relax. Most people don't get immediate rematches in their career. Like, unless you are Conor McGregor or Ronda or, someone that's really got a presence, you don't get an immediate rematch. Like, I didn't when I went back in Strikeforce when I lost to Ronda. I didn't get an immediate. I've never gotten an immediate rematch in my career. I would have loved to immediately rematch Kat when I lost to her, but you just don't get it sometimes. You got to work your way back up and hope for the best. But we will. I'm sure we'll fight each other again. She's fighting Valentina Shevchenko now. You heard about that?
That's going to be in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be on the Rumble Johnson Glover Teixeira card, which is whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's going to be crazy.
It is. And they're both southpaws and strikers. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Shevchenko's tough as shit too. She's like a bulldog.
Yeah. Interesting.
She's very like physically
strong.
She's like the way she fights, she's very physical.
I feel like they're kind of both. I was just watching her fight with Amanda again the other day. I think I only got through like the round and a half before I had to go because I was doing the Fox show the other day, and we announced the fight with Holly. That's why I was watching Shevchenko, and she seems like a counter striker too, though. I always wonder when you get 2 people who are counter strikers but elite strikers, what happens?
Well, Holly is much more of a kicker, and Holly also is like much more fleet of foot. So it's going to be interesting. But Holly's not weak either. She's very physically strong. So
super strong.
It's going to be an interesting fight. It's a really good fight. And for Shevchenko, it's super important. She's had a couple pretty good fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
But like this is the big one. This is like the chance
they're headlining.
to put her on there. Is it headlining? Yeah. Is that the main event of that
believe
card?
so.
I think that's the same card as Rumble Johnson Gold. I can't imagine that wouldn't be the main event. But I don't know. It might be on. Is it on Fox?
Yeah.
Is it Fox? It's an awesome card too. That Chicago's awesome. I love Chicago.
It's one of my favorite cities in the world. Have you ever had Molly's cupcakes?
No.
You were gonna say Molly.
Are you really into cupcakes? Like, you have this nickname, Cupcake. Is that real?
Yeah, I love.
Are you a cupcake
You
fan?
know what's weird? So recently, probably the last month, I've been working with a new sports doctor, Dr. Edwards, and he's changing my diet, which is great. So I've been eating more of a high-fat diet.
Oh, okay. Ketogenic?
Yeah, ketogenic diet. And I've been staying away from a lot of sugars and stuff, and I feel really good. So I haven't been mowing down the cupcakes recently, but in the past I've been known to put down, cupcakes.
And the moment you said ketogenic, there's thousands of people listening to this podcast. I'm like, no, not again, because it comes up so often. Because I've been doing that
though.
for 5 months. I've been eating nothing but that. Like, that's how I eat.
Right.
And I've lost like 10 pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian's lost so much weight on this diet. Like, his camp before that was a struggle to get the weight down. He's really big for 135. But he gets up to like 165. You know, he can get up to 170-ish.
Yeah, I remember when he was making the cut the first time. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it was hard. But this one, you switch to that, with a little bit of carbs. Obviously, if you're an athlete, you have to have some carbs.
Sure.
You have to do strictly fats and whatnot. But anyways, his weight has blown off. He's way ahead of schedule. He's doing really good. So we're pumped about that. And I'm eating shitloads of fats too and staying lean and healthy, and I feel good.
So, like, do you do like, what protocol are you following? Like, is it like 60% fats, 30% protein, 10% carbs? Like, do you know?
No, I'm not that scientific about it. I kind of just listen to my body and I just eat what I feel. I feel like I've been doing it so long that I just kind of have a natural sense. It's like if I'm hungry, then I just choose to eat something that's more fat based than something that's sugary or carby.
Like, what kind of foods are you gravitating towards?
So recently I've been so stoked about liver mousse.
Liver mousse? Like,
yeah, it's like mousse.
Pate?
Yeah, they're delicious. Like, if you go to Whole Foods and you go to the cheese section, they have these little packages